In financial markets, you make a profit when you're synchronized. You make losses when you are desynchronized. Therefore, Rule 603, synchronization profits. Your synchronization is vitally important to master. In this video, we're going to look deeply into synchronization, and there are quite a few things that can help you to reach profitability, consistent profitability. Stay tuned, it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's run the numbers. Getting synchronized in with the markets is incredibly important. Understanding Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 charts and how they intercorrelate and interconnect is literally a game changer to your profitability. In the past trading session, Apple lost its historic $3 trillion market capitalization crown as sales disappointed. Amazon had a really good day and its shares surged on surprisingly strong results. Apple, on poor results, went the exact opposite direction. We can see the number of companies beating estimates from Q1 to Q2 in tech is actually increasing, and from Q1 to Q2 in communication services is also increasing. In other news, Tesla China deliveries plunged 31% in July to the lowest this year. We can see Tesla China plant deliveries were going up, but now we've seen a bit of a retracement. In other news, JP Morgan scraps the US recession call amid spreading optimism. A recession is defined as 2 quarters of negative growth, and we can see JP Morgan's updated GDP forecast. JP Morgan was expecting Q4 of 2023 and Q1 of 2024 to be negative growth. Their current projections are saying something else. No negative GDP growth. That is soft landing. In other news, Meta begins blocking news in Canada in response to a new law requiring digital platforms to pay local news outlets. That's affecting both Facebook and Instagram in Canada. For Canadian news publishers and broadcasters, their news links and content posted on Meta platforms will no longer be viewable by people in Canada. International news outlets can continue to post news links and contents, but that cannot be viewed in Canada. And for people in Canada, they can't view or share news content on Facebook and Instagram anymore. In other news, Microsoft has a credit rating of AAA. The US has a credit rating of AA+. It's believed that Microsoft can benefit from this. There's an undeniable link between crypto and the main markets. It's important to understand what goes on inside the stock market. All sectors in the past trading session came down 0.53%. Consumer discretionary was the best performing sector, up 1.91%. The worst performing was information technology, down 1.49%. Looking at a heat map, we can see that Apple really suffered. Google did quite well, Meta did well, Amazon did well, Tesla not so well, and Microsoft also retraced. Energy is absolutely pumping. It's very helpful to look at the overall charts, and you can see with Apple got absolutely smashed. When a leader inside a particular sector goes down, that whole sector tends to follow, something to be aware of. Nvidia came down, Microsoft came down as well. You can see the US 2-year yield absolutely decayed. Oil restrictions are pushing the price of US oil higher. And we can see dollar yen coming down as the DXY came down and the euro dollar actually repairing. And you can see the retracement in the DXY here. The S&P 500 is showing weakness, as is the NASDAQ. The VIX is jumping up. Junk bonds were coming down, but they've actually jumped a little. This is a good sign. As yields and the dollar, the DXY, exploded higher, it put a lot of negative price momentum on both gold and silver. And we can see the US 10-year yield retracing substantially. Please let me know in the comments, what do you think the impact of the yields spiking down and the DXY spiking down as well will be over the next week or so? Things take time to play out inside financial markets. Some good news on the FOMC front. The probability of a 25 basis point increase is 12.5%. It was 18% one day previous. That is really good for the economic system. Stock sentiment is actually still positive. You may not believe it, but stock sentiment does things like this. These big retracements, they happen all the time. The trend as yet has not been broken. That is the uptrend. The blue line is Bitcoin. The chart is the S&P 500. What you can see is that there's a directional correlation between, at the moment, Bitcoin, which means the entire crypto industry, and the S&P 500, which is effectively the stock market. When you see Bitcoin come down, the S&P 500 came down, but when Bitcoin started spiking up, the S&P 500 started spiking up as well. We've seen that Bitcoin just decayed before the S&P 500 started to decline. The key to understand, Bitcoin is a very powerful risk-on or risk-off sentiment indicator. The S&P 500, it may look really random when you look at it like this. Why did it sell down here? How far can it go before it finds support? Is it actually at support now? These are questions that the CTKS method answers. Let's pop on the indicator that was just released yesterday. One thing that we understand, the S&P 500 came into smart money's sell resistance at 45.40 and it didn't get through it. If it can't get above, it's going below. The next level was 44.93. If it can't get above, it's going below. Where are the next levels? From around that 4,400 mark, just down, 44.34. And there's quite a confluence of those. Also, remember that these lines are gravitationally biased. What does that mean? It means that even when price comes down, it can come back up to retest or either exceed it or resume downwards. These are things that you need to know about when you trade and invest in any financial market. These SLs or Stanfield levels are formed by analyzing all of price history. That's why they're different to normal support and resistance lines. And the CTKS method has marked up the S&P 500 since 1871. Wow, that's a while ago. The NASDAQ is the technology index of the stock market. And what do we see with the NASDAQ here? It was retracing. Is it at support? Is it near resistance? Where are the smart money coming into support price and where are they coming out of the market to push price down? That answer is inside your indicator that was also released yesterday. We can see, unlike the S&P 500, the NASDAQ has a different structure. It has two levels of smart money buy support, 13,858, and also down a little bit lower at 13,809. What does this mean? Smart money buy support levels are exactly that. That's where smart money comes into the market and says, "Whoa, this is a good bargain, I'm buying." Notice the confluence of behavior. Bitcoin is tracking the main markets, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, from a directional correlation perspective. If you look at the main markets and the main markets are starting to sell down, look at Bitcoin, it's probably selling down. And why do we care about Bitcoin? It's because it's so important. Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. If Bitcoin is selling down, guess what's happening with a 99% probability to your alts? They're selling down more. But if Bitcoin is coming up, your alts, 99% probability, are coming up more. Many people trade Forex, and there's something really good to be aware of. When the DXY comes down, we anticipate Bitcoin to go up, because that's the way the markets are currently working. That can change. But note, when Bitcoin started to come up, that showed that the DXY had the potential to come down. Bitcoin predicted the movement in the DXY. If you're in Forex, this is very, very valuable information to understand. What about here? When Bitcoin started to roll over here and then started to do decay. What was happening to the DXY? It wasn't even coming up at that point. It was starting to base, starting to cross over. This can be a very, very powerful signal for you if you're in the Forex market. To put it another way, if you're in Forex, look at Bitcoin. If you're in the stock market, look at Bitcoin. It can give you an edge. The same goes if you're in crypto. Look at the main market. You can see this is the S&P 500. What's the S&P 500 done? It rallied up, but then it decayed sharply. And what did Bitcoin do? It followed it. And it wasn't just Bitcoin, it was the entire total crypto market capitalization following the S&P 500. This is why it's so important to know where the structural levels of support and resistance are in the Tier 1 charts. They're literally the engine of financial markets globally. Getting synchronized in with the markets is the thing that will drive your profitability. I hope this alternate look on how markets intercorrelate and interconnect is helpful to you. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments and if there are any other things that you would like me to cover off. We've marked up total with the CTKS indicator, and if you would like this indicator, just pop across to ctksmethod.org. If we turn it on, what do we see? We've lost a key structural support level. It's now turned into a resistance level. Where is the next level or levels below? They are a little bit under at that 1.105 trillion and also a level at 1.102 trillion. If it's not going above, it's going below. And price is always moving SL to SL. That is Stanfield level to Stanfield level. And these levels have been formed since the analysis of price since 2014. This is not recent indicative price. This is CTKS structure, formed through objective dynamic market structure. It's vitally important to keep your eye on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin loses its structure, it's not heading above, it will head below. Let's turn on the Bitcoin indicator. And again, if you would like the indicator, just pop across to ctksmethod.org. Where was the structural resistance inside Bitcoin? And it's been marked up since 2009. It was here around this 29,256 mark. You can see Bitcoin couldn't get above it. If it could, we were in for double-digit gains because total was at support. But the S&P 500 had different ideas. One thing we know, if it's not going above an SL, a Stanfield level, it's going to the one below. Where is the one below? It's at 28,696. Where is Bitcoin right now? 29,048. It could head back up to do a retest. The reason that we looked at the smart money buy areas, the smart money buy SLs on the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, we need to know where Bitcoin could go down to and find support and rebound. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, they're not at support yet. They could go down a little more. But just bear in mind, across the weekend, anything can happen in crypto land. As a question to the community, which charts do you apply the SLs to? And what are you finding the most profitable token to trade? Or it could be Forex or inside the stock market. And of course, commodities as well. Looking forward to your thoughts. This video is seeking to help you to synchronize in with the market. You synchronize in when you know where smart money is buying and selling and how all the charts move as one. Rule 603, synchronization profits. It means if you're profiting inside financial markets, you're synchronized. You're reading the Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 charts correctly. If you're not profiting, you could be doing two things. Either you understand percentages, which is rule 260, you're buying on the right side of the percentage. That means you're layering in. If you've suffered a loss, it could be because you're not quite sure on how the Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 charts intercorrelate and interconnect. It could be, of course, just an exogenous event that's hit the markets as well, and they are always occurring. If you're caught off guard, try to do your daily three-dimensional risk management. This allows you to understand what you will do if price goes against you first. Look at that one first. Look at price going for you last. This may sound really counterintuitive, but we know we control the trade or investment, but the market controls the return. The return is always based on your knowledge and your courage. Always seek to increase your knowledge and always seek to increase your courage as well. When looking at the top 8 cryptos over the past approximate 24 hours, we can see Bitcoin is now going for it. What does this mean? It means that Bitcoin is signaling to the main markets, time for a bit of a rebound if it follows through the entire weekend. What about the gravity of Bitcoin on Ethereum? So far, Bitcoin's gravity has outpaced that of Ethereum's. What about Binance Coin? You can see this overlay. Bitcoin is the blue line. That blue line is pretty much smack bang on BNB. What about XRP? XRP can't resist Bitcoin's gravity. It was resisting it for a while and then got pulled down severely. What about Doge? It's just interacting with Bitcoin's gravity. What about ADA? It's doing the same. Solana, it's doing the same. And Tron, it's doing the same. That's why it's very important to know what direction Bitcoin is going. And how do we know that? We must look at the markets as well to gain a bit of an overall understanding. Looking across the crypto market, we can see Bitcoin is just marginally down, but DOT, ADA, and SOL and HBAR are showing a little bit of positive momentum, of course, BNB too. The outstanding performance of today is SHIB. Looking at the top 9 cryptos, we can see Solana has the best price appreciation, followed by ADA, Cardano, and BNB. The greatest gainers, top 100 past 24 hours, FracShare, OKB, CRV, SHIB, Casper, Synthetics, Bone, ARB, and BSV. The greatest losers past 24 hours, top 100, XDC, Woo, XRP, Stacks, Pepe, Compound, Gala, Render, and Immutable X. Looking at crypto fear and greed, we can see there's more fear entering the market. Over the past 24 hours, there's been 49.43 million in total liquidations, 37 million of which were long liquidations. That's driving price down. Looking to the past hour, we can see that's actually reversing. More shorts than longs. Another thing that could help you to synchronize in more effectively with the markets, you can see that Bitcoin suffered a very, very big fall as the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ came down, largely spurred by Apple, but also the markets are quite overextended at the moment, so they need a bit of a corrective wave to just fix things up. You saw ETH come down. XRP really came down. It's been showing weakness, but XRP has been up very high. When you look at XRP's price behavior and compare it to Solana's price behavior here, you can see similarities as well. This is why high-moving, volatile cryptos, volatile tokens can move around quite substantially. And you can see Doge doing a similar thing to Solana as well. When Bitcoin came down, look at what happened to Tron. It came down as well. This is why it's very important to know where the smart money levels are on Bitcoin. A powerful way to get synchronized is to boost your knowledge as much as possible, to understand the foundations, to understand how charts intercorrelate and interconnect, to try to pin down opportunities, and those opportunities reset daily. Enhancing your pattern recognition is very important before buying and selling, and there's so many ways to do that. Mastery of emotional control and replacing fear with courage is very important. What I've just shown you is the structure of the masterclass. Let Me Know Barry has kindly offered a CTKS partial masterclass scholarship. You can apply for this in the link in the description of this video. Purpuratum has also kindly offered another CTKS partial masterclass scholarship. The links are in the description, but if you want to go across to cryptotechnicalanalysis.org and go into the testimonials section, you'll find that it's a very, very highly rated testimonials. And you can see there are a lot here. So you can read through those and get an understanding of what the masterclass can do for you. And again, I would like to thank Let Me Know Barry and Purpuratum for their very kind generosity. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and a wonderful weekend. And Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again tomorrow. Bye for now.